acquired over a period of time from Swamiji. In that context, I am today going to share the intellectual understanding and the experiential understanding. Thank you all once again. Let us proceed. In Tamil, it is Arivarnda Puridal and Anubhavu Puridal. Those who can understand, I just wanted to put these two words in Tamil. Okay. Now, let us try to understand the meaning of understanding. In the noun form, when you understand something, you know how it works or what it means. Take the question of, I want to drive a car. If you need to drive a car, you should need a fairly understanding of the ignition, the steering, the road rules and regulations, clutch, brake, everything. So you need to have a basic understanding. Without that, you cannot drive a car. The same way, when you want to go for an advanced technology in computing, see, one should have the basic understanding, the medium, the computer, what's going to be the size and whatnot. So the same way, the synonyms for understanding is your perception about that object or your knowledge about the product or how much you have grasped about that process, product, your understanding. Okay. Then in an adjective form, what is understanding is, if you understand someone, you will be kind to them and you develop forgiving. Forgive and forget will continue. If you love somebody, your wife, your brothers and sisters, your neighbors, friends, boss, subordinates, if you love somebody, you will never develop an hatred feeling at any moment or any point of time. Just take an example. A boss gives a day off for his subordinate. That means the understanding between them is good. The same way, if your understanding of your partner is good, then you will have a peaceful and joyful life. Okay. The synonyms, you will develop sympathy, you will develop compassion, you'll have kindness, and you have concern about that person. So, fairly we understood what is understanding. And Swamiji says, if you want to understand something, you should stand under. Hope you all may be knowing. Maybe as soon as you reach from your home, not now, maybe before coming to Vedatrium, if she gives you some kind of a sweet, you took the sweet. A few minutes afterwards, she gives you a coffee. You sip the coffee and say, hey, no sugar is there. And she says, no, the quantity what I normally used to put for you is there. I added sugar. No, you will say no after coming to this. Then after some time, she will say, you just wait for some time. And then you drink, you will feel the enough sugar is there. Now now coming to Swamiji, we understand you are overstanding while eating the sweets. And when slowly, after eating the sugar, the level of sugar, the units comes down below the sugar level in the coffee, you will understand the enough sweet is there. So what Swamiji says, if you want to understand something, you should stand under. So with this understanding, we will proceed. What is intellectual understanding? Intellectual understanding is most of the people, they have acquired through reading, learning, or listening. It is intellectual understanding. I'd been to lots of satsangs. I learned from many gurus. That means the people who used to talk, they take pleasure in one's intellect and skills or their intellectual activities. And they are not understood. Only they are intellectually understood. Further, we'll break down into small things. Many people, they understand intellectually reading a book, all the recipes and the ingredients which goes into making or preparing the dish. You ask them immediately, can you cook for me? No, sorry. I understood, but I have yet to try. See, there is an intellectual understanding. Ask them to cut a fruit. They said, yeah, I know to cut the fruit like this. Ananas can be cut like this. And if a jackfruit, this is how it should be cut in my villages. I've seen all these things. But can you cut it? Sorry, I not tried it yet. So these are all the intellectual understanding, on the knowledge level. Further, many people, studying the religious texts and doctrine to gain knowledge about the particular faith. And they talk about it, but they have never experienced it. That is it. All these things are intellectual understanding. You ask them, had you been to Kashmir? Yeah. And gone through a map from Bangalore to Kashmir, 2,502 kilometers. And it takes about 124 plus 20, 44 hours. A travel you can by road you can reach. See, these are all the intellectual understanding. Learning about history and culture of different countries. Take Brazil. Brazil is a football playing country, and the people this way, that way. The parakeets are very huge, and then they have a liberty statue like thing. All these things are intellectual understanding, and they never experience it. They have not been to that place. They have not played football. And one day when I asked a friend, hey, what a new cupboard, a wardrobe I'm seeing in your place? Yeah. I just ordered and got it. Who did it? No. The instruction manual comes. I just gone through it and then I ordered it. With an instruction manual comes, you can assemble it. But I asked him, who did it? Did you? No. The man came and did it. I just gone through the 3D, three-dimensional exploded view of the furniture. I thought it is easy. But you have the tool to assemble. Have you tried it? No. The same way, understanding budgeting and financial planning principles. Many people, they talk about it, but they don't know even to budget for their own day-to-day life. And further, we'll see in the children level, memorizing the facts and informations only for exams. They apply in their, when they go for a job or in their day-to-day life. No, it's only an intellectual understanding. They just memorize the facts and informations, vomit in the exams and get the marks. So that's nowhere going to help them. When they come for interview, when I ask them something, they said, sir, I just mugged up and studied, or that particular day I was absent. So these are all excuses they give when we conduct a personal interview. So they're all intellectual understanding. They are unable to apply in their day-to-day life. And knowing the rules of the game before playing it. I know kabaddi, this is how it is, should be played, all these blah, blah, they will talk about it, but they never played. See, they're all the intellectual understanding. It is not going to help in your life. Learning about the history and philosophy of various spiritual traditions. That I removed the thing. Okay. Then the intellectual understanding, a theoretical concept of karma, reincarnation, enlightenment, rebirth. Sir, I have gone through the Benjamin Crony is research books, research papers on rebirth, on reincarnation. They will talk about the karma, birth, life, between life and death. That is called samskara. And then finally, if you try it, you can attain moksha in this life. I heard a lot of lectures, a lot of books. Have you experienced it? Do you know what will happen after death? They are unable to express. They are unable to, they not even experience the presence of prana in their body. And then analyzing the theoretical arguments of existence of God. Where is God? How is God? But have you experienced it? No. So I just, a few things. Finally, getting information about the various meditation techniques. I'd gone to all meditation techniques. Transcendental meditation, sky meditation, this, that, everything. And their benefits. When you meditate, your mind and the emotion calms down. You'll have a better sleep. Your health improves. Hereditary thing comes under control. All these things they may be knowing. Well, all them, have you meditated? No, I learned, but I'm not doing it. So these are all they have not experienced the benefits. So these are all the intellectual understanding. In no way helpful to us. Now let us move on to the experiential understanding. When you experience, then your understanding is much beyond your imagination. Achieving a state of inner peace through meditation practices. When you meditate, your body, mind, and everything calms down. You'll have, after your 30 minutes of meditation, you enjoy the bliss. Even after doing the Turyadit meditation, you feel the bliss. Each and every cell experiences the bliss. The way to connect God is through meditation. Meditation magnetizes, magnetism attracts. So one will definitely experience the presence of God. Trust, it is God's will. Whatever happens in your life, whatever happens in the universe, it's God's will. It happens. It's an experiential understanding. Our nature is bliss. Bliss is our nature. So these are all the experiential understanding. During a spiritual satsang, one experiences a deep connection with all beings. You will experience whatever you think, you will get it. With all beings, all creations in this. The same way, a mother singing a lullaby to comfort her child when the child is crying, puts her on her shoulder, taps the back, the crying child becomes comfort and it sleeps. The same way, the mother universe sings lullaby of love to comfort her creation. This is our experiential understanding. Like mother lullaby, the universe lullaby is love to comfort her creation. The same way, many times you might have read and you might have seen in books, jnanis and gurus, when they go near and deeply meditating on a forest or anywhere, all the birds and the animals, even ferocious animals, comes down, sits closer to him and enjoys the bliss of his chanting or his meditation. You will experience. You might have seen, and this is the experiential understanding. And further, you just see you can read the book, many books of near-death experiences. One of which, the Anita Murjani. You can just read this book. There's One will experience the near death and one will understand the near death experience. Otherwise, people, they don't believe. So these are all the experiential understanding. It's very clear. Both my parents are living with me. The experiential understanding is one day they are going to exit, they are going to leave this world. And after they're gone, I still think I have them. See, this is experiential understanding. The fear of death disappears. The fear of death disappears. Death is not a painful event, but it is a bliss. Further to it, do not compare yourself. One experiences, he will never compare himself with anyone because you are unique in creation. You cannot see a person like you in this universe. Take a leaf from a tree having millions of leaves. One leaf is not like the other leaf, even though it is from the same tree. Even the scientist says a snowflake is not like the other flake. So in the creation, we are unique. When we are unique, how can you compare yourself with others? The comparison causes problem. If you have the experiential understanding, you will never compare yourself with anyone or anything in the universe. If you compare, what will happen? Comparing yourself to others, with others, is like trying to climb a ladder without steps or without rungs. See, what will happen? You will either swing or you will fall down, but you will never go up. So when you compare others, you will never grow. So with an experiential understanding, you will never compare. You will always go in your level of understanding and you will proceed in your journey of consciousness, the purpose of life. Your inferiority complex disappears. So you don't compare yourself with others. Life becomes easier from the day one you start practicing, you are experiencing. Life becomes easier and comfortable because you don't compare. You understood the law of nature. You will never focus on the worldly things. You will focus on yourself. You will never fall a victim to the worldly things. You will focus on yourself and towards the development of consciousness. Your hatred, jealousy, low esteem, everything withered away or abandoned. Now, presently, you are not in a good position in life right now. So what? Is that going to be an end? A sickness, loss of job, or maybe death of near and dear one. All these things. It is not the end. Tomorrow, you must become better. You may forget. You must move on. See, these all the experiential understanding. You will just move on. You will ask, so what? This is not the end of the world. And another thing one must understand in experiential understanding, most of the experiential understanding persons, they understand the principle. Everything in the universe happens in an orderly manner. Everything happens in the orderly manner. Everything in the universe happens in an orderly manner. Cause and effect system. Nothing happens without a cause in the universe. If you understand an experiential understanding person. The ultimate fulfillment is self-realization. And all the processes are reach the end. All our activities in day-to-day life that will take us to the final destination of man. Realization of self, realization of nature, realization of the Almighty, realization of how the Creator. And all these things, happens in this universe. Take the case of Corona. Say, it happens in an orderly way, probably to teach every individual lesson. So it is a divine law. It's a law of nature. One has to accept it. When you accept it, your mind becomes calm. You'll even lead a blissful life. A wonderful opportunity for us. It is the ultimate goal of life. This is our true destiny. You are here to fulfill the divine destiny. The first step in meditation is accept the people as they are. Accept the incident happens in your life. So everything goes in an order in the universe. So this is his experiential understanding. Experiencing a sense of oneness with all the divine presence or the universe during deep meditation. You will find the oneness with maybe where you are sitting, where you are meditating, where in day-to-day life. Dhyan karna nahi, dhyan mein rakhna hai. In every box of life, you feel the oneness. Not only in meditation, but in every moment of life. There are 24 hours. We do meditation for 1 hour or maybe 2 hours. What about the rest 22 hours? You will experience whatever you do. You will do it perfectly with your experience. So, dhyan karna nahi, dhyan mein rakhna hai. As you meditate, you must live. Then we will understand God is omnipresent. He is everywhere. We enjoy his presence in the fellowship. This is experiential understanding. In experiential understanding, one will participate in a ceremony of a spiritual satsang or a spiritual communion or whatever happens. You will participate, you will witness, and you will express your experiences with a group or with the whole community. One will share and share spiritual experiences. The spiritual experiences unfold around us every moment. And it is not exclusive for some X, Y, or Z. It will happen to every individual. We will also experience. But if you have an intellectual understanding, you will not. But if you have an experiential understanding, you will. One day I asked Swamiji, when we are very big, 20, 25 years, Swamiji, after coming to learning Kundalini Yoga, now whenever I go and attend to any family functions or any group, for any reason, I am unable to close my mouth shut. I'll continuously talking about the meditation, yoga, introspection techniques, all these things. And people in the beginning, 20 years back, they will run away. Hey, this fellow is coming, he will talk about all this, blah, blah. They will run away. After some time, now it is totally different. When we go there, they all surround us and ask they shoot umpty number of questions. Okay. Then I asked Swamiji why it happens. Swamiji said, when you are a bud or take a rose flower, when it is in the bud form, it will not spread the aroma around. When it blossoms, all that color, aroma, everything spreads around, irrespective of X, Y, Z, of various disciplines. It gives its fragrance or aroma to everybody, including all the insects. The color, it attracts. So all these things in the nature. So when you will also experience this, you will continue to talk whatever the level you have learned in the spiritual practice. That is experiential understanding. Then immediately you will have a question. Sir, shall we share the spiritual experiences? It is an FAQ, frequently asked question. Let me answer you to the best of my knowledge and ability. What I am about to share in any forum or any group, will it help him to grow spiritually? Then he can share. Number 2, in my role, going to weaken him with jealousy and inferiority complex. Hey, this fellow in the same class, he studied, and this fellow has grown up like this, talking about so much. So you look at him, automatically you will understand he may feel jealousy or inferiority complex. Is it going to strengthen his or her confidence? Or does it leave this person with a question, why did not this happen to me? Find out. If it is not going to happen, you can definitely share your experience. Number 4, your experience is the result of your achievement. You never just bought it. Your experience, what you are sharing in the group or the forum, it is a result of your achievement. Mind it. With this, you can share. And what Maharshi says about limited method in 5 in life: food, work, sleep, sex, and thought force. What about the intellectual understanding and the experiential understanding? We will see. See, people talk about the food microbiology and then food toxicity, safety, waste, food management, processing and packaging, technology. All these things people will talk about it. After talking and giving a TEDx lecture, when they go out, you can see them eating a junk food. And what about talking about safety and security? They just buy something in a polythene cover and just taking it, wiping it and throwing it in somewhere. And all these things you can see around the world. See, this is intellectual understanding. What is going to be in an experiential understanding? What Swamiji is telling, wasting food not only consumes money, but also the other resources, and for the future generations like land, water, energy, and labor. Just before taking another handful of food, can you consume it? Can you digest this? Will it helpful to you? All these things is experiential understanding. Meat is responsible for the world hunger and starvation. I should stop eating. All these things, we should an experiential understanding person will do. It naturally takes place. We don't need not force to do it. It's automatically, it will take place. Do not drink water between meals. All these things. And do not sleep after eating. But this is what is the experiential understanding about food and about work. After doing work, a lot of work, and you are unable to complete, and the work half complete, half done, you are unable to do it. All these things with your you start with a negative thing. Just because my boss said, let me start the work. With a half mind, you start your work, you are going to half complete. Because force, you don't like it, then you will meet, you will have an accident or something like that. You are unable to even start the work. So I will only do it this way. I don't want to listen to him. It is my way. I will only do it this way. And you will postpone things. Hey, let us see tomorrow. Yeah. Why should I start just because I can complete it? These are all the intellectual understanding. And he works for money. No, this is the money I've been paid for my this kind of thing. I will only do this much. See, these are all the intellectual understanding about work. What Swamiji says, do one thing at a time. Focus your attention. Use your technology. As the technology grows up, use all the technologies to save money, time, and energy. Plan your day that night before. Things to do. Many times I've seen Swamiji before coming, when we invited for a lecture, when before coming here, he will sit even discuss with us. These things, can I just say? These are things I'm going to say. And many these unified force lectures I've seen in Bangalore, before even Swamiji to that level, before he's going to talk, he will just go. He will just schedule is what is going to be the talk beginning, what are the points to be discussed, who's going to attend in this forum. These are all the experiential understanding. And an experiential understanding person will do his duty as service. He will do his duty as service. If you do your duty as service, then what do you mean by service? Without expecting anything in return. If you don't expect anything in return and do your duties, everything will fall in line. That's what Swamiji says. Then about sleep, what the intellectual understanding is, it is all because of the side effects. I'm not getting sleep, an improper diet, my blood pressure, asthma, my parent had it, so I am having it. I am unable to sleep. And the death of the near and dear ones, I am unable to sleep. The economic crisis, the debt burden, I invested in this place and invested in my hometown. I'm unable to pay the EMI. And what will happen? The world, the economy is going to go down. How I am going to pay? So I'm unable to sleep. And with heavy physical exertion, all these things are the intellectual understanding. The old age issues. But the experience understanding, you see, keeping the mind calm, focus on walking, meditation, exercise. It just gives you a good sleep. During sleep, please understand the repair and maintenance of the body takes place. Sleep is nothing but the repair and maintenance of the body takes place. Getting emotional would never solve your sleep pattern, sleep problems. So getting emotional, how to overcome your emotion. Meditation, introspection techniques, and experiential understanding, person will say. And daily do a self-examination. You will get a good sleep. And now we'll see what Maharshi says about thought. An intellectual understanding person, he will say making money is necessary. It is not sufficient at all for the present day living condition. What about the school fees? What about the fare, flying? All these things, we look for. Our thought pattern is something different. Make money is only concern. They never bothered about their age, their family situation. They just want to make money, the number of hours they work. They simply forget it. That's how the thought pattern is. Somehow I have to make money, hook or crook. Irrespective of it is the dharma method or logical way, they don't mind. And thought is everything in life. We are the architect of our life. They talk about it. I am responsible for all these things. But the experiential understanding is you are counting your last days. Experienced person. So please look for your purpose of life. Whatever you do, respect the nature and the resources. Thought is the main cause for all diseases, psychosomatic diseases. Even all diseases today, the medical science says before going to anything, ask them to go for a counseling. They find out it is about their thought pattern, how it runs, how it is. That is how this kind of a thought pattern affected this person, and this part of the body is affected. So this is experiential understanding. So all that information you have gained, if you put into practice by that, thereby confirming it, a transformation will take place. It's an automatic process. Information, confirmation, and transformation. The thought process. So the in a spiritual discourse, you see an intellectual understanding person. When he's giving a spiritual discourse, you will see the very intellect person. Oh my God, what is vocabulary? Body movement. Oh my God, the way in which his modulation, everything. The unique insights about things. And you never thought about it. He will talk about many things. As he comes out, he becomes a simple, ordinary person. No experience about what he said and he talked. He can delight you and he can surprise you. When you compare the same spiritual discourse by an experienced person, seeing God in everything, the importance of discipline, yama niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharane, dhyana, samadhi. Yama niyama focuses on that. But on the other side, there is no question of yama, do's and do nots and do's. They will silence in the crowd. And discipline and listening, all these things are a part of the experiential understanding person. An experiential understanding person gives a spiritual discourse. The person's style, the person's dress, the way in which he dresses and addresses the audience, and the expression he gives it will be admired by each and every people sitting on the forum, on the hall, and many of them will be inspired by his way of explaining things, way of life. So that experiential understanding person will inspire you. He'll inspire others. So even many times we see, I've inspired by this person in my life. That is why I've grown. Then how do intellectual understanding of spirituality differ from experiential understanding? Let me repeat. How do intellectual understanding of spirituality differ from spiritual understanding? See, he gives examples from books. He touches your intellect. Beautiful words. It is not even about the words. Many things. It is intellectual understanding. He tells the truth from the books. Yeah. But on the other hand, an experiential understanding of spirituality is like this. He is a living book. But other person gives an example from the book. And this side, experiential understanding, he is a living book itself. It touches your heart. On the other side, it touches your intellect. But here, it touches your heart. Even sometimes the rolls out of your eyes with emotion. You know, you are dealing with the truth. There are only words. He tells the truth, but this person, with a spiritual, experiential, understanding person, is the truth itself. That is why they called as Mahans, philosophers, Jnanis. And this side persons, they will only intellectual understanding. Now, let me quickly go through it, some Gayatri mantras about what Swamiji made it in a Panchabodhana Dhyana. how the intellectual understanding of Gayatri mantras and how an experiential understanding of Gayatri mantras. Just take a Sunny Gayatri. Which is Sunny Gayatri. Om Kakat Vajaya Vidmahe Kadga Hastaya Dhimahi Tanno Manta Prachodayat. So it is Lord Sunny, who is the king of justice, usually gives punishment when he comes to our sign according to the sin what we have committed. See, when you see in this any Gayatri mantra for that reason, Surya Gayatri, Sunny Gayatri, Ganesha Gayatri, all these Gayatri mantras, when you see, it ends up with Vidmahe, Dhimahi, and Prachodayat. See, Om Kakat Tvajaya Vidmahe, Kadga Hastaya Dhimahi, Tanno Manta Prachodayat. Even Surya Gayatri, Om Bhurbhuva Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Vargo Devasya Dhimahi Diyo Yona Prachodayat. See, all these things will end up with three words: Vidmahe, Dhimahi, and Prachodayat. What is Vidmahe? Which means one should understand. It is derived from Vid. Vidmahe, try to understand the object or the planet. You must understand. After understanding, Dhimahi, try to worship or try to meditate. Established a link. Prachodayat, after establishing a link, you reap the benefits out of it. That encourages you. See, 101.7 an FM radio, you just tune it, fine tune it. When you connect it, you receive the song, you enjoy it, you reap the benefits. So what Swamiji, this Gayatri mantras, by simply chanting, you will never get that experience. So that's why Swamiji says, develop a method, Panchabodhana Viragatyana. You expand your consciousness, establish a link by meditating on the planet. You receive or reap the benefits out of it. Meditating on moon, it impinges on our blood circulation, blood is purified. Meditating on Saturn, the rays coming from 88 crore miles impinges on our nervous system. The nerves are getting toned up. Like this, every planet and every nakshatra, all these things, Swamiji has made a beautiful way of experiential. One will experience it by meditating on the Panchabodhana Garagat rather than having an intellectual understanding, simply chanting. So now we'll go for the spiritual awakening, how it is. It is a practice of connecting your being with the universal higher power. That is what is spiritual awakening. You get connected. There is something beyond us in the universe, a higher power. By spiritual awakening, simplified Kundalini Yoga or any other technique, you get connected to the higher being, a power which is beyond us. When spiritual awakening takes place, all our ego diminishes. The spiritual awareness is a constant growth. You will continue to grow in your spiritual progress. What will happen? How to do it? Allow yourself to be in present. If you allow yourself to be in present, your anger, guilt, fear fades away from the background. And you are no more a person. After spiritual awakening, 20 years back or 15 years back, and you are compared today, it's an unbelievable personality. You take responsibility for your thoughts and actions when you awakened in your spiritual practice. You will get connected or you will expand yourself from the fractional consciousness and you will try to get connected with the total consciousness. Now let's see a few things in experiential understanding in day-to-day life. In day-to-day life, see, I just quickly go through it. Electroencephalogram. used to monitor and record your brain waves, electroencephalogram. You know it. It changes according to our different brain states or different our emotionals or mental functions. So there are 4 levels: beta, alpha, theta, and delta. The different sources to give you different frequency values. When you go to the delta wave, you can see a delta wave is nothing but why they put the name delta. When the river takes a birth or from the ocean, it gets condenses of sunlight, becomes steam, and it just passes through, hits the mountains, it gets condenses, it becomes a river, a pure water. From the clouds, it becomes a pure water. When it condenses, it starts its travel from the higher level to the lower level. When it travels, a pure water, it gets contaminated by the soil and other dirts and things like that. It just traveled and about to fall, it just cannot go and getting inside the sea directly. It has to wait. Then the sea water gets in and collects the river water to the ocean. So that particular place is delta. So now you know why they put the name delta for that final level that becomes 1 to 3 frequency. When you are in that state of mind, you are the divinity. You are in the frequency, or you are in the field of the divinity. So the divine embraces you. It takes all your contaminations and it takes you to a higher level. So this is beta, theta, beta, alpha, theta, and delta waves. So what is the delta wave? These waves are experienced in deep, dreamless sleep and very deep and in transcendental meditations, or in sometimes in coma. Electroencephalogram will keep, but the meditators will experience healing. Healing takes place. Regeneration also takes place when you are in this state. All your diseases will disappear. All your hereditary diseases comes to control. Love and compassion level, feeling of joy, and at the same time, peak performance of the mental abilities are manifested. You are able to influence the people around. You are able to attract people around. You are able to convene and console people around. At this state of mind in delta wave, you can influence. You can inspire. That is what supreme gurus and supreme spiritual masters are doing when you regularly live in this state of mind. In this state of mind, all that negatives which happened or happening, going to happen in the world at higher frequency will never influence you. You are at a very lower frequency of 3 hertz or 1 hertz. These are all positive things. It is all love and compassion. All that negatives are 14 plus. All your emotional moods, krama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, macharya. All these things are at a higher level. So that will never influence us when you are this level. So you are going to influence or inspire, admired by other people at that delta wave. This is experiential understanding. I just want to share a story of a Zen Jnani. Koshi, a professor of Buddhist philosophy, he wants to learn Zen philosophy. So what he does, he said he just finds out and adds in, he's a great sage in China. So he just travels to China, and once he met him, and then he said, I can, and he just in the process of discussing with that great guru, Nansen, He says, I can answer any of your questions, sir, because I studied all the Buddhist philosophy. Oh, okay. So now we are here. You can ask me any question. Then the Nyansin asks Yoshi, where did you leave your slipper while entering into my house? You have kept it to the left side of the, because it is raining. You had an umbrella. Where did you kept your shoes? On the left side of the umbrella or the right side of the umbrella? Oh, he was surprised. He thought he is going to ask the Buddhist philosophy, but he was surprised. The question asked by him, he could not answer. Then the Zen master says, if you lived in the present moment, you could have answered, but you are not living in present. All that knowledge you have just said and what you have heard and read, pack up, start living in present. That he says, then if you start living in present, the entire universe will be in your hands. You don't need to go anywhere in search of anything. So the meditation, an intellectual or experiential understanding. And again, a small story. On the same guru one day, one Shishya, he desired to learn meditation. Then he goes again to the master of Nancy, a Zen master, and he joined in the ashramam, started working. Whatever the master says, Nancy says, he started working. Then, while working, he always looks at Guru and his daily activities. What time he is getting up, what is doing, all those things he was looking at it. Then one day, he happened to him after observing him for many months. He asked him, Guru, I have not seen you meditating. Why don't you meditate? Then you know what the Guru said? The highest form of meditation is to patiently and constantly be aware of in your daily tasks. And that's why they say, Dhyan karna nahi, dhyan mein rakhna hai. Each and every moment of your life should be like a meditation. That means live in present, constant awareness is required. To get constant awareness, one should meditate on Agni Chakra. When you meditate on Agni, that's why Swamiji directly takes it from Mooladhara to Agni Chakra. When you meditate on Agni Chakra, you live in constant awareness. The frontal lobe of the brain gets energizes. That helps you to live in constant awareness. It secretes the hormones. It gives you contentment in life. Serotonin. So, to get constant awareness, meditation at the Agni Chakra, you will get constant awareness. You will never do any mistake. When you don't do any mistake, and you don't need to pay back. So our future karma is no more there. So an experiential understanding while eating, while sleeping, it's all the wonderful awareness and meditation. Live in constant awareness while eating, while sleeping. The awareness, the wonderful awareness during meditation. The present tense is staying alive. When you are in present tense, you are staying alive. When either in the past or in the future, or dead and non-existent. Therefore, only those who live in the present, they are living. Those who live in the past or in the future are dead. So that is his experiential understanding. To create a spiritual awareness in society, we owe a debt of gratitude to the Lord who gave us the rare human being life. Finally, we achieved. We have come to this life. You got it. To the rishis who laid down the ways of living in this society to live and lead a blissful life without inflicting pain to self or others at present or in the future to the body or mind. So this spiritual awareness in society, we must be thankful to our forefathers who were responsible, who were instrumental to push us to this Jnana Marga for the growth of our dynasty. So we must be thankful to our parents and great-parents, great-grandparents, those who lived, gave this body and give all those things to realize self. They propelled us here. So that is a debt of gratitude to this society in which we are a part. So let us understand and live accordingly. So let us live and grow Vedatrium. Start living in the present moment to transfer your life towards the purpose of life, God realization. This is experiential understanding. Thank you very much for your patient hearing. And I thank you once again for your participation. And with all the gurus and the nature's blessings, may all live good health, long life, enough wealth, prosperity, wisdom, and peace. Be blessed by the divine.